Good afternoon, everyone. Every so often, CSA chooses to acknowledge a member's extraordinary service with our highest honor named after former President Peter S. O'Brien. Elected in 1974, Peter O'Brien led our union during one of New York City's worst fiscal crises. Under his leadership, CSA established its Committee on Political Education, signed the nation's first union-negotiated daycare director's contract, and received our charter from AFL-CIO. Today, we salute his spirit as we present the Peter O'Brien Award to Dee Dee Goidel. Dee Dee Goidel is being escorted by President Emeritus Peter O'Brien's son. His name is Stephen O'Brien. Thank you. Dee Dee. Dee Dee is an educator, an advocate, and organizer whose lifelong commitment has transformed the lives of students with disabilities and strengthened our union community for generations to come. Over her 45-year career, she worked tirelessly to ensure that children and adults with special needs receive the education and dignity they deserve. Beginning as a speech and hearing therapist, and she soon realized that without barrier-free schools, many students were denied opportunity. So she built one from the ground up. Then in 1975, the Board of Education brought her in to design and write grants for innovative programs serving students who had been left behind. Dee Dee's leadership at CSA only grew stronger in retirement. She helped found our retiree chapter, serving as vice chair and the chapter's first legislative liaison, shaping its constitution. In that role, she helped establish 15 regional units across the country to keep our retirees connected and our union strong nationwide. In 2003, the New York Senate named Dee Dee a woman of distinction in her lifetime of advocacy in Queens County. And I have a very, very important and special message for you, Dee Dee. This message is from CSA President Emeritus Jill Levy, who, by the way, was Supervisor of Special Education. Shout out to our Supervisors of. Message for you, Dee Dee. She sent it to President Henry Rubio. Dear Henry, I understand that Dolores Dee Dee Goidel will be the recipient of the Peter O'Brien Award at the CSA conference tomorrow. A great choice. Although I am unable to be with my CSA brothers and sisters tomorrow, I want to tell you just a little about my 55-year relationship with Dee Dee. 55 years. Dee Dee is a woman of profound intelligence, professional and personal commitment. I am not writing this because she perceived, organized, and led the first and historically the very best professional evaluation and placement unit in the state of New York, but she took care of the parents of children with special needs. A parent like me, who 55 years ago was at her personal crossroad. It was Dee Dee who directed me towards Hunter College, where a new federal grant with clinical training enabled me to earn my master's degree in 1 year. One of my clinical involvements turned out to be with Dee Dee's E&P, the best professional experience I ever had. Dee Dee has played an important part in CSA, where she supported and battled the powers at the time to see the development of the retiree chapter. Her focus on lobbying has served us well. She never runs out of energy. She is my Energizer bunny. 55 years of friendship, loyalty, intelligence, and energy, all wrapped up into one little woman. I love little women. I love A great choice for this year's award in Unity, Jill. Thank you, Dee Dee.
Thank you. Was my inspiration, too. Okay. By the way, my husband once said, "When did I marry Norma Ray?" Okay. Let me see. Okay. It is my great honor to receive the Peter O'Brien Award. Peter, I met him in the 70s when he was walking and trying very hard to get the union organized and recognized, and he did it. And that was an inspiration. I was new in the Board of Ed at that time because I had previously worked elsewhere. And I also am standing here because of someone like Jill Levy, and she was one of your presidents, and Erwin Shanis, who chose me to run with him for the first time that we had a retiree organization in 2004. And I said to him, "Erwin, people are moving away when they retire, and I'd like to do something, if it's okay with you." And I also spoke to Jill about it. And I said, "I'd like to franchise the organization and start regional units across the country wherever there was a nucleus of retirees so that they could have a three-prong approach to stuff that would be good for them. One is to be active politically where you live so you can vote and make that legislator know that he has your vote, okay? Or she has your vote. The other thing was to be social, because when we worked, we had no time to be social. The third thing was, if someone had no family, that you have an outreach prong for your organization so that they will know what benefits they have and how to use them. Because unfortunately, not everyone ends up at 95, which I am. With a memory, God gave me, he endowed me, which I'm so grateful, with a memory and also an ability to still be strong and be an advocate for unionism. Now, I would not be standing here if I was not inspired by Peter O'Brien. And also Jill Levy, who was the one who had the vision to give us a retiree organization and to have actually picked people who could really make this a vision. Okay, so it's more than a vision. And that was Erwin Shanis and also Gary Goldstein, who was the first director, and Gary's over there somewhere. Okay. Now, let me see. I went off my track here. Okay. I continue to this day to be energized and to be an advocate because we have a leader beyond for this century, and that's Henry Rubio.
Thank you so much.
His energy and his commitment to all of you. He doesn't just follow other unions. He follows his mind and his heart.
Yes.
And that's very important. Not every leader does that, and you have to know that. And this is sincere on his part. It's not a fake. Okay. Now, I have been active for close to maybe more than 50 years. My son reminded me. And my son and daughter-in-law are over there, Eric Goidel and Wendy Goidel. I have, as I said, I've been active for over 50 years. First, as a volunteer, and it is so important to give time to the union because they give back, okay? And then I was an officer, and then Ernie Logan reinvented me. Since I was going to Albany anyway, he made me a union lobbyist. And then I was active with Peter also in NIFSA. And when we went up to do our lobbying, the legislators would say, well, why aren't you with Saney's? Because Saney's comes right after you. And that was Peter's real ambition, was to unite the two of them. And I was there when he spoke about it. Okay. Now, I am still active in the retiree chapter. I'm a board member, and I'm also active in one of the regional units. And that's very important, by the way, when you retire. Find your regional unit. And if you move, find one in the United States, because it makes it stronger. Now, I started my career in the private sector where it was nonprofit. I had no benefits. So I'm telling you, never take your benefits for granted. They were hard won, and how they were won, either through legislation or through negotiation. And believe me, very hard negotiation. It is important for all members to be active, whether you are working or whether you are retired. The expression that you all have heard, I stand on your shoulders. But if there were no shoulders to stand on generation after generation, you would not have what you have today. And that is so, so important. It's so important. Give the union your shoulders, because it's important, even just a little bit. If they need you on the picket line, but they don't picket anymore, I don't think, but if they need you at the Labor Day parade, go to the Labor Day parade. If they need you to go up to Albany, go to Albany. It is so important. You can make a difference. It really helps. Every little bit helps. And I again thank you for this wonderful award. And the other thing is CSA all the way.
All the way. CSA!